Welcome to Tech Solutions. If you are watching my video first time, don't forget to subscribe the channel immediately and click the bell icon for more updates and like the video to reach more members. Don't skip the video and watch until end. And give your comments or query or specific suggestions, or if you need any specific topic want to explanation in comment section, and don't forget to the comment on video.
I'm going to discuss about basic organization of computer. Right? What is meant by computer? A computer is nothing but is an electronic device. Right? It will be to process the something and it will produce some meaningful statements. Or simply we can say the combination of components that is designed to process the data and store the files, also called as a computer. Right? Simply the computer is nothing but it is an electronic device. It accepts the inputs and based on the inputs it will be do the some process and it will be produce some meaningful statements as a result or output. It's called as a computer. Right? Here the computer system requires hardware, software and users to perform the fully functional. Means without hardware the software cannot do anything, and the without software the hardware cannot do anything. Then the users is the main to give the some instructions to do the some task in a computer. Now it is the basic structure of computer. That is the input. You can give the some inputs. These inputs will be given to the computer. The computer will be do the some process, right? Then based on the process it will be produce the some output as a result. This is the basic structure of computer. Now this is the main computer, how it will be works. That is the central processing unit. What is the process you have to do here? Now see here you can give the input. There is a program or data you can give the input to the particular computer. Now this input will be stored. This part is called as a memory or memory unit or storage unit, right? In this memory we have the two types of memory spaces. That is a memory, primary memory or secondary memory. Means what are the data we can given, those data will be stored into the either primary memory or secondary memory. After that we can do the process. We can do the see what is the here process we can do means we can give the input and we can do the process. Here in central processing means CPU we can do the some process. Here the central processing is the two parts. One is the control unit and then arithmetic and logical unit. Right? Here whenever you can give the input will be stored in the either primary memory or secondary memory. After that here you can see we have to communicate in the two-way directions, right, from the central CPU into storage devices. Then control unit and then arithmetic and logical unit. Here what is the need of arithmetic and logical unit means it will be perform all the arithmetic and logical operations which you can perform. Means all the operations will be performed in the ALU only. Means the combination of arithmetic and logical unit and control unit is called as a central processing, that is the CPU. Right? Here the data line indicating the flow of execution. The flow of execution means we can give the input, that input will be stored in the primary memory, right, and it will be processed the some calculations and it will be showing the output unit. Clear? That is the flow of execution. Here the arrow line can represent how the flow will be started. Means you can give the input, that input will be stored into the primary memory. That input is taken by the control unit and it will be do the some process and it will be produced as a output. Right? Here the central processing unit will be arithmetic and logical unit and control unit. The control unit will be control the entire flow from the taking of input into up to displaying the output. This is the basic structure of the computer. Next, there is some basic operations on the computer. There is the first one is the inputting. Means the inputting is nothing but we can entering the some data or instructions to the computer to do the some task. After entering the data, we have to store the particular data either in the primary memory or secondary memory. Means saving the data and instructions to make them readily available for the initial or additional processing whenever you can require. Means whenever you can store the data can be used for wherever you can require. But once you can give the input, that input will be stored into the either primary memory or secondary memory. And what is meant by processing? The processing is nothing but the performing the arithmetic and logical operations on the data that will be converting into the useful information. Means arithmetic operations means we can perform the addition, subtraction, multiplications, division, all the arithmetic operations. as well as logical operations. What is meant by logical operations? Means whether less than or equal, all the what are the operations we can performing, all the operations will be in the processing. And the next operation is outputting. Means outputting means once you can give the input, it will be stored and it will be processed. After the process will be completed, it will be give the some result as a output. That is a useful information which is understood by the human being. And the final one is the controlling. The controlling means what are the process we can taking from the input, storage, processing and outputting. All the process will be controlled by the controlling unit. That is the directing the manner and the sequence in which all the above operations are performed. Means what are the operations we can done, all operations are under the control unit only. These are the 5 basic operations which you can perform on the computer. Right now, what is the need of input unit? What it can do means the input unit can perform the following operations. Means it will be accept the inputs. What are the inputs you can enter by using the any input devices? Those inputs will be accepted. Right, that means it will be taking as a input, and this input will be converted into computer acceptable form. That means the machine is only understood the binary values. That means what are the input you can given by using the any input devices, those inputs will be converted as a binary format. That is a computer acceptable form. Right, and it supplies the converted data to the computer system to performing the further actions. What is the actions you want to perform? By using the input device, we can give the some inputs to the computer to do the some task. Those input is converting into the machine level language. That is the need of input device or input unit. Next, then what about what can do the output unit? Means the output unit can perform the, it will be produce some result as a output. Right, based on the inputs, the output unit will be producing the some output, and this output also converted the coded result into human acceptable. Why? Because our input is a high level language. Human will be give the input as a high level language. This high level language is converting into the machine level language, and it will be perform the some operations. After completion of the operations, it will be give the some result as a output. This result will be in the form of coded format. Right, and storage unit. What is the need of storage unit? Whenever you can give the any input, that input will be stored into the primary storage locations. Means what are the data and instructions we can given, those data will be stored in the storage location for the processing, and it will be stored. Suppose if I can performing addition of two values, c equal to a plus b. That means the value of a is a 5, value of b is a 6. Whenever I can add these two values, the result is a 11 will be stored into the same storage location. That is the intermediate is also storing in the same location, and final result of the processing also stored up to the result will be displayed. Before displaying the result also, it will be storing the values. And there is a two types of storage locations. That is the primary storage and secondary storage. What is the need of primary storage? Means primary storage are used for to hold the running programming instructions. What are the current programming executed? All the running programs will be stored into the primary memory, and it will be hold the what are the data input we can given, and in execution of during the execution, if that it will give any intermediate results and ongoing process, all the results will be stored by the primary results. Now, what is the characteristics of primary storage? Means it is a fast in the operation, but it is a small capacity like RAM, and is a very expensive, and it is a volatile. Volatile means it is a temporary. Means whenever the power is a switch off, then automatic data will be added. That is a primary storage. Now, what is meant by secondary storage? In secondary storage, it will be stored the program which is we have to save in a system. All the instructions will be stored, and it will hold the data and information of the stored. Means what are the programs or what is the results you have to store. All the data will be stored into the secondary storage. And what is the characteristics of the secondary storage? Means it is a slower than compared to the primary storage, and it is a large capacity. Storage capacity is a very large, but compared to the cost, it is a lot of cheaper than primary memory, and it retains the data even without power also. Right, then next, what is the main part of the computer? Means central CPU. That is a central processing unit. Here the central processing unit is a two parts. There is the arithmetic and logical unit and control unit. The combination of ALU and C is from the CPU. Now the control CPU is the brain of the computer system. It is responsible for controlling the operation, all the units of the computer. Means what are the instructions, what are the process you can do in the computer. This process is controlled by the CPU only, right? Here what is meant by arithmetic and logical unit, and what is the need of control unit. Here the arithmetic and logical unit will perform all the arithmetic and logical operations. What is the purpose of computer? Means we can do the some task. All the tasks will be performed by the arithmetic and logical, that is the ALU. And what is the need of control unit? Means the control unit will be control the entire flow of execution. The entire flow of execution. That means the control unit of a computer manages and coordinates the operations of all the components of the computer system. Right? Here you can say the main part of the computer is input, CPU and output. Input can be used for to accessing the inputs, or you can give the input through input devices, and the ALU will be do the some process based on the user instructions, and it will be produce the some output. Right? Thank you.